Do you replay conversations in your head long after they're over? Do you analyze your tone, your words, your expressions, and wonder if you said too much or not enough? People tell you to stop overthinking. They say you're making life harder than it needs to be. But what if I told you that overthinking isn't a weakness? It's a sign of high self-awareness. What if the very thing you've been criticized for is actually proof that your mind works on a deeper level? Today, I'll show you 20 psychology-backed reasons why people who overthink everything are often the most self-aware people in the room. Point 1. You notice details others miss. Overthinkers don't just hear words. They notice tone, timing, pauses, and facial expressions. You pick up on subtle shifts in energy that most people completely ignore. This isn't anxiety, it's heightened perception. Point 2. You reflect before you react. Highly self-aware people don't act on impulse. You pause. You consider consequences. You think things through. That inner dialogue people call overthinking is actually self-regulation. Point 3. You care about impact, not just intent. Most people focus on what they meant to say. Overthinkers focus on how it landed. You don't just ask, was I honest? You ask, was I kind? Was I fair? That's emotional maturity. Point 4. You question your own biases. Overthinkers often re-examine their beliefs. You ask yourself, am I being fair? Am I projecting? Could I be wrong? That level of introspection is rare. Point 5. You think in layers while others see situations in black and white. You see nuance. You understand that people can be good and flawed, right and wrong, confident and insecure at the same time. That complexity lives in self-aware minds. Point 6. You're aware of your emotions. You don't just feel something, you analyze why you feel it. You name emotions. You trace their origins. That emotional literacy is a major sign of self-awareness. Point 7. You replay moments to learn, not torture yourself. It may feel exhausting, but much of your overthinking is about improvement. You replay conversations asking, what could I do better next time? That's growth-oriented thinking. Point 8. You anticipate consequences. You think ahead. Not because you're fearful, but because you understand cause and effect. This is why overthinkers often avoid unnecessary drama. Point 9. You notice patterns in people. You remember behaviors, not just words. You see who is consistent and who only shows up when it benefits them. That pattern recognition comes from awareness. Point 10. You struggle with simple advice. Just don't think about it. Doesn't work for you. Because your mind isn't shallow. It doesn't shut off easily. Deep minds require deeper solutions. Point 11. You feel responsible for your actions. Overthinkers take accountability seriously. You don't brush things off with, it's not a big deal. You want to do right, even when no one is watching. Point 12. You can see multiple outcomes. Your mind simulates possibilities. Not because you're negative, but because you're mentally prepared. This is strategic awareness, not pessimism. Point 13. You value meaning over speed. You'd rather be thoughtful than fast. You don't rush decisions because you know some choices shape your future. That patience is intentional. Point 14. You feel things deeply. Overthinking often comes from depth of feeling. You care. You connect. You invest emotionally. And depth always comes with reflection. Point 15. You're hard on yourself because you hold standards. Your inner critic exists because you expect a lot from yourself. Self-awareness often comes with self-pressure. Point 16. You're more self-conscious, not self-centered. You don't overthink because you think you're special. You overthink because you're aware that your actions affect others. That's empathy. Point 17. You seek truth, not comfort. You're willing to sit with uncomfortable thoughts. You'd rather understand reality than escape it. That honesty with yourself is powerful. Point 18. You're constantly evolving. Overthinkers rarely stay the same. You analyze, adjust, and improve. Growth comes from awareness, and you have plenty of it. Point 19. You're misunderstood because depth is invisible. People see your silence, not your thoughts. They see hesitation, not consideration. Self-aware minds are often misunderstood. Point 20. Overthinking is a skill that needs direction. Overthinking isn't the enemy. Uncontrolled overthinking is. When guided properly, it becomes insight, wisdom, and emotional intelligence. So if you overthink everything, don't rush to silence your mind. Learn to guide it. Because self-aware people don't think less. They think better. And once you learn how to work with your mind, instead of fighting it, Your greatest weakness becomes your greatest strength.